My name's Mia Scotland. I am a hypnobirthing practitioner. What that means is that I run hypnobirthing classes for couples who are pregnant and who want to do some antenatal preparation to help them prepare for a relaxed and calm birth. I've been running them for about 7 years. I run the one-day Mindful Mama course, and I also have been running Marie Mongan's hypnobirthing course for many, many years. I used the techniques for the birth of my third baby, and the midwife didn't know I was in labour or believe I was in labour, even though I birthed within 20 minutes of her wanting to give me a Syntocin drip. So I can vouch for it myself, and as I say, I've been teaching it ever since. But what is hypnobirthing? It sounds more complicated than it is. All hypnobirthing is it's a philosophy about natural childbirth. It promotes natural childbirth, believes in natural childbirth, believes in the benefits of natural childbirth, and understands it from kind of normal, natural perspective. And in doing so, it immediately makes childbirth less complicated or scary than it needs to be. The other thing about hypnobirthing is its techniques. So it's techniques for relaxation and deep relaxation. I think some antenatal classes can sometimes explain to women that it's important to be relaxed for natural childbirth, but then don't always actually go the next step, which is help women understand how to do that. Because on your birthing day, things can be a little bit exciting or a little bit scary. It's actually not that easy to do to relax. So what we do is we provide a training program for couples to prepare for childbirth by learning to relax at a physical level, but also an emotional and mental level. So we use a lot of psychological techniques for doing that, a lot of basic psychological principles and hypnotic techniques as well, which have been shown to work. And we talk a lot about the mind-body connection. Childbirth is not just a physical process, it's a psychological process. If you get your mindset right and let your mind go, then your body will get on and do the job that actually it's programmed to do, because all mammals are. So we talk a lot about the mind-body connection. We talk a lot about releasing people's fears. We live in a culture where childbirth is people are frightened of it. When people think of childbirth, the first thing they tend to think about is pain. And that's part of our cultural story, if you like, our cultural script. And the other thing about our cultural script with childbirth is that it's dangerous or it will probably go wrong. So with hypnobirthing, we try and turn all that on its head and help women to see that actually, most of the time, 95% of the time, childbirth just happens naturally and joyously. So we talk a lot about the happy hormones and how childbirth can be something that can be incredibly satisfying and joyful. And that can be completely new for some people. It's never dawned on them that they might enjoy their birth. But hypnobirthing helps them to see that. When you view childbirth as being something that you might enjoy and can look forward to, you actually increase the chances of it being something that you enjoy. Because we know that if you expect pain and are frightened of what might happen, you increase your chances of experiencing pain. So we help couples prepare for childbirth. Hypnobirthing helps couples prepare for childbirth, and the focus is on the couple. Nowadays, dads are in the birthing rooms, but I think often they're not prepared to be in the birthing room, which I think is quite a tall order. So hypnobirthing works with the couple. We help the mum learn techniques for relaxation, and usually it's the dad. We help the dad to be a good birthing companion. We help him to understand how he can be most useful, how he can help mum stay relaxed and calm and focused, how he can be the person that does a lot of the work, such as preparing the room, giving her drinks, sorting out the calm environment in the room. He does all that, so she doesn't have to. She can just relax. So we involve dads quite heavily, and I think that's one of the main benefits of hypnobirthing, and where hypnobirthing maybe stands out a little bit compared to some other antenatal classes. Now, hypnobirthing has been around for quite a while in the UK, and it's becoming quite popular for lots of reasons. It's in the NHS in quite a few places in Britain. I've used it for treating tocophobia. It can be incredibly powerful for releasing any fear that a woman might have about her birth. And in itself, I think, is a benefit. Sometimes when people are thinking through hypnobirthing and wondering about it, there can be quite a lot of, quite rightly, scepticism about hypnobirthing. So sometimes people want to know, well, does it work? Will it make a difference? And I think that in answer to that, if you look at the research that looks at hypnosis for childbirth, it's ever since probably before the 50s, the research has been quite categorical that it makes a difference to all kinds of outcomes. But I think actually I prefer not to ask the question, does it work? Because it's a little bit like when water birth became popular in the 80s, there was a lot of scepticism. A lot of people were asking, will it work? Is it worth it? Is it dangerous? But what we know now about water birth is it helps. It helps because it calms and relaxes mum. And I think with hypnobirthing, that's all I want to know is, well, it helps because it calms and relaxes mum. So I think we're getting to the point now where rather than it be black and white, doesn't work, we can ask ourselves to what extent can this help and who can it help? I think some of the other criticisms that I've heard about hypnobirthing follow the line of, well, aren't you preparing mum for failure if you're telling her that childbirth can be joyful and natural and something to be looked forward to? Might you be setting her up for disappointment and failure? With hypnobirthing, we do not talk about what might go wrong. Because if we look at the mind-body connection and the psychology of expectation, if you talk a lot about what might go wrong, you're actually increasing the chances of it going wrong for a starter. And even if you're not, the question is, are you helping people prepare for things when what they wanted to happen doesn't happen? All I know is, in my experience of working with hypnobirthing couples, when things don't go as they wanted them to, what tends to happen is, because the mother is very relaxed and accepting and feels in control of the process, she tends to go through the process much more easily, much less stressed, and comes out of the process happy that what happened had to happen and that she dealt well with it. So, for example, people, in my experience, will go into theatre actually feeling fine about it all because they've asked the right questions, they've understood why it's happening, and they're looking forward to meeting their baby. We talk a lot about the joy of meeting your baby for the first time. So personally, I think we are preparing people for when things don't go the way they planned, because they'll cope with it so much better because they're so much more relaxed. Benefits of hypnobirthing? Well, I'm a little bit biased, obviously, because I've been teaching it for such a long time, but the benefits are profound. The benefits are strong in pregnancy. Right from the beginning, mums are listening to a hypnotic relaxation CD regularly. I mean, every day sometimes. That calms mum down. That releases endorphins. Those endorphins cross the placenta. We know that what the hormones mum is producing while baby is growing impact on the development of the baby in terms of the baby's brain development. Calm babies is a common outcome of people who've done hypnobirthing. So the pregnancy becomes calmer, more relaxed. Mum starts to look forward to the birth. I think it brings couples together because they're working together on the homework. So there's a lot of connection that starts to happen between mums and dads as well with their practicing. On the day, like I say, whatever happens, but it generally happens in a more relaxed way. And research would suggest that it also makes labour quicker, less tearing, less pain, less problems in terms of baby getting distressed, etc. As I've said earlier, other benefits are that dads are involved, which I think is a really nice benefit. And hypnobirthing helps normalise childbirth. If our aim is to normalise childbirth, then I think hypnobirthing can be a really massive tool in doing that. Because in this country, the kind of mainstream view of childbirth is that it's going to hurt. And in our class, the first thing we talk about is, what do you expect with your birth? And most people say pain, some people say trauma, some people say blood. It was quite negative stuff around childbirth, and I think that is kind of endemic in a lot of the mainstream beliefs in this country around childbirth. And in the UK, and in fact in an awful lot of Western countries, there's a culture around childbirth of it being very negative. People are very frightened of the fear. They presume it's an ordeal that they're going to have to go through. There's not much positivity at all around childbirth, where of course in other cultures, maybe many years ago, childbirth was something that was celebrated and looked forward to and revered. Well, that isn't the case at the moment, and that comes through in our media, etc. So in the world that we live in at the moment, especially in the UK maybe, that negativity affects mum's psychology when she's pregnant and affects her, how she is regarding the impending birth, how she feels about her childbirth. And hypnobirthing is about releasing some of that fear, reducing some of that negativity, so that she can actually look to her childbirth with more positivity, and that will affect how she births, because she will be more physically and mentally relaxed about the whole process, and we know that that makes a difference to how women labour.